I really think it can't be heaven if you don't remember your sin. And it's not the kind of sin, it's not that you'll feel bad about it. And it's not that you'll be tempted by it, but it will actually amplify the glory of the merciful God, Jesus Christ. I'll be able to say, oh my word, I didn't even understand what it cost him to come get the filth that I was in, to get me out of it. As we remember it, what it will produce is probably jumping up and down and shouts of joy and praise, because here's something that everybody in heaven knows. Everybody in heaven knows that none of them deserve to be there. Everybody knows it. The only people that should be there are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And everybody else knows, I shouldn't be here at all. And even if you know things about other people's sin, it won't really matter, because you'll just be celebrating, we're all morons. None of us deserves to be here. And you'll be doing pirouettes and like, Jesus is so merciful. High-fiving everybody. That's what it will be like, because you'll see clearly. And again, there'll be nothing left to hide. You won't want to hide it. That's old world living. Now you'll be like, I don't mind showing everybody, because my God, the one who's the most important in the universe, knows everything about me and still loves me. Here's number 2. You'll enjoy meaningful relationships without sin. You'll enjoy meaningful relationships without sin. I don't know about you. I think, maybe you disagree with this, I think relationships might be one of the most enjoyable things on planet Earth right now. When you think about some of your best moments, when you think about the things that you wish you had pictures of, I'll bet you most of them have something to do with relationship, whether it's family, whether it's a really close friend. And I'll bet you, if we were to go around this room, most of your most painful experiences also involve relationships. So they have the greatest capacity to bring joy, but they also may have some of the greatest capacity to hurt. What will it be like? We saw those martyrs under the altar. They were in relationship with one another. They seemed to even have some kind of relationship with planet Earth, like they were longing for us. They can't wait till we're with them. But they were in relationship. What will it be like when sin is removed from all of our relationships? What will it be like when you never have to worry about being misunderstood again, and you never misunderstand anybody? What will it be like? Now these are real. These are real relationships. What will it be like when no one ever has an inappropriate expectation, and no one ever has an expectation that is unmet? What will it be like when you're able to communicate freely, and you're never like afraid to tell somebody something, and you never have to like do something behind their back or be afraid that they'll find out? No one will ever be betrayed again. What will it be like when some of your best friends are from different cultures, different races, and even different times in the history of planet Earth? What will that be like? What will it be like when you have a long time to develop those relationships? I think about some of the relationships that Kenzie and I hold really dear. Some great friends that we've had over the years. And I would tell you, with every one of them, there's been challenges in those relationships. And I'll just say this for somebody. If you really want to have great friendships, it's going to cost you. Like, you're going to have to fight through some stuff to have good friends. Like, for the long haul, that's just part of how it goes. But as we've spent more of our years with certain friends, those relationships themselves become so much richer because of the battle you've been through together. Well, how close do you think you'll be with some of your greatest friends after about 150 years? What will you have experienced together? What personality types will you find amidst the myriad and myriad of every tribe and tongue that you meet in heaven? Do you think it's possible it'll be a little richer than it is right now? See, sin shuts down everything, but there it won't matter anymore. Sin won't be a part of the equation, and you will finally be free to never censor yourself. You'll finally be free to love fully. Some of us, we hold back. We're like, I love you, but I'm going to hide it. You'll never have to do that again. It will be completely appropriate. You'll never embarrass yourself again, and you'll have the bonds of fellowship. This is really what I think it's going to be like. I think it's going to be a cross between that first moment of being in love and a long-term rich relationship of loving someone for many, 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 many years. You know what I'm talking about? That first couple of moments, you're so infatuated with them. They can do nothing wrong, and you're just like, they're the most wonderful present I could ever encounter. That's what you and I believe, will be like. We'll be delighting in each one, and we'll be discovering all the joys that God put in them, all the treasures, all the incredible things about that personality, and we'll experience the delight of knowing they're discovering us and enjoying it in the same way. And at the same time, our capacity to be able to love and love well and love discernedly will be stretched so far beyond anything we've ever encountered here. Hey, can I tell you? You're going to love heaven. It's a real thing. It's not a fairy tale. It's a thing that many are experiencing right now, and you are going to experience it if you trust Jesus Christ. You say, Carter, I don't know anybody. I don't know if I'm going to know anybody in heaven. Well, I bet you'll definitely know Jesus. If you're there, it's because you know Jesus. So you'll definitely know him, and he's the most important person. But there's several stories in the book that I mentioned last week, Imagine Heaven. Again, these are not necessarily scriptural, but some of them sound scriptural-ish. And so we don't take our stand on them, but we can learn from them. We can let them heighten our imagination a little bit. John Burke, the author in there, he tells multiple stories of people who are coming to heaven, like they're coming towards some kind of gate, some kind of barrier, not necessarily like a Victorian gate or anything like that, but they're coming up, they're on the edge of heaven, and out come for each person different ones that knew them during their life. And they come smiling, arms open, welcome. They're welcoming them into eternal dwellings. And I think about that. We talk about that at the dinner table sometimes. Who's gonna meet us when we get there? Is it gonna be grandma? Is it gonna be Uncle Chris? Who's gonna be there for you to say hello and say, we've been waiting for you. So glad you're there. And then we think about, who are you gonna go for? Like whose entrance do you want to be there for, to slap them five, or like, oh, it's so worth it, I'm so glad you're here. I don't know how that works, or if that's even how it works. I don't know if like Peter has to greet everyone. I'm like, Peter, that's a long day, okay? I don't know. But maybe if I die before you, maybe pastors kind of get preferential. They get to choose whoever they want to greet. Maybe I'll get to be at your gate, like if I go first. And that, I would just tell you, that'll be awesome. I can't wait to do that. Or maybe you'll get to greet me when I come in. That'll be so precious. And I just can't wait for those moments when we're all it's all behind us now. All the pain, all the suffering, it's gone. Years ago, my sister was in a car accident. She was 18 years old. It was bad. One of the people she lost in that car accident was her best friend, Brooke. And Brooke had, she'd grown up around the house. Heather's my little sister. Brooke was around a lot. And so, anybody like that is going to be important to the family. And it was rough when we heard that sweet Brooke had died. I remember driving home from the hospital after seeing my sister Heather. And it was one of those kind of God moments. I was driving home, and I felt like the Spirit of God just on the TV of my head went, and the channel came in clearly. There's a real heaven, and Brooke is there. And it was like I was so focused on the here and now, and suddenly I saw the picture clearly. There's a real place people go when they die, and it is sad here, but it's also real for them. And you'd think that I was like, oh, praise God. I wasn't in that moment. In fact, I was a little bit confused, and I asked the Lord, I said, well, what's the point of it all then, God? Like, why are we even here? If you're just going to take us to heaven, what are we doing here? Why don't we just all go to heaven right now? And I don't want to give the impression that the Lord always speaks audibly to me, but I felt him speak so clearly to my heart that day. Because not everybody is going. And I need you to stick around and help people hear the message so they can go there too. So here's what I know. All of that is awesome. We're going to study more awesome things through the rest of this series, but do you know that as much as we can help people, and we can help people tangibly, there's so much that we can do. There's so many causes that we can be a part of that can help people in the world. At the same time, can I just tell you, especially some of you young ones who you want to just save the world about everything, that's awesome, do that, but just understand there's people that you will not be able to tangibly help. Like there's just nothing you can do, right? They're just at a moment in a stage where like you don't have anything for them or there's nothing you can do. Can I just give you a challenge? Here's what you can do with everybody. You can tell them there's a good place. There's a real place. Maybe me giving you $1,000 isn't really what you need. Maybe what you need to hear long-term is there is a place where there are no more tears, where your relationships are unencumbered by sin anymore, where you are delighting in your God and in everybody else for the rest of forever. Maybe you don't even have to be an apologist. You don't have to argue them into why Jesus Christ is the Savior. You can just start with, can I tell you, this is why I'm excited about heaven. This is what I see in the Bible, and I'm becoming less and less afraid of death as I go because I've got more people there, and I can't wait to get to them. That takes Jesus' help, but it's a mission every one of us can embrace.